Hello, this is Nathan Hall, and this is my Lab 9 final project for ENME351. As a brief introduction to my project, it is essentially an arcade game that spits out candy out of this tube when the game is completed. In terms of the sensing of this project, there's a potentiometer located right here that controls the up and down motion of this blue ball on the screen. Additionally, there's a distance sensor that only allows the game to be run when a certain distance is recognized. So only when this ticket is inserted will the code and game run. In terms of the actuation of this circuit, there's an LED located right here that flashes red when the ball hits one of these rectangles, as it is right now, which is why the LED is on. There's also a stepper motor at the bottom of this cup that refills the tube with candy after each round, or initially fills it in the first place. Finally, there's a servo motor located on the bottom of this tube that releases candy into this cup when the game mode is completed, and then closes again before it is refilled. To highlight some of the key components of my processing code, there's a void mouse press function which communicates to the Arduino and then rotates the stepper motor by the click of my computer, which allows me to initially fill up this tube with candy. Another key thing is it reads in the distance from the distance sensor right here and only allows the code to run if it is less than this certain value. And if a key press is true, it resets the game. So if I press the spacebar, it initializes the blue circle back to the beginning, which allows the user to reset the game. And this is where it constructs the rectangles right here, which are based off of these values up here. Then it reads in a value from the potentiometer, which adjusts this blue circle from going up and down, as well as the X function that keeps incrementing it depending on the difficulty you want it set at. All of these if statements right here communicate to Arduino if the blue circle hits any of these red rectangles, which then turns on this red LED. And when the X is greater than 550, it adds 1 to the counter, as well as calls in this rect function right here, which randomizes these rectangles again each time it goes through. Finally, if it reaches the final goal, it communicates to Arduino, which then causes the stepper motor to rotate. To demonstrate a key concept of this processing code, each time the ball reaches the end of the screen before the final goal is reached, the rectangles are randomly reset, and the counter at the top right is incremented by 1. To highlight some key factors in my Arduino code, this right here is where it reads in the distance from the distance sensor. And this is where it reads in the value from the potentiometer. It then communicates both these values to processing. Additionally, it reads in values from processing itself, telling it to do things like rotate the stepper motor if the mouse is clicked, or turn on the LED if the ball hits the rectangles, or rotate the servo motor and then stepper motor if the goal is completed on processing. To demonstrate my project, I'll first show that it does not work if there's no ticket inserted into this ticket slot. So right now I have my processing up, and I'll hit the spacebar and nothing happens. Next, I'll show what happens when the ticket is inserted. So with this ticket inserted in here, I'll now hit the spacebar, and this code will run. But if it hits the rectangle, the code will stop, and a red LED will flash on. Finally, I'm going to demonstrate how my project fully plays out. So I'm going to hit the space button over here, and immediately start controlling this blue ball. For the sake of this demonstration and time, I'm only going to have it go through once. But once I complete the game mode and it reaches the end, the servo motor will spit out candy. Then it'll close back up, and this stepper motor will then add more candy to the servo for the next round.